Our next act is a gentleman. A true gentleman. He opened the door for me. He bought me dinner. And he had a duel with someone who he was vying for my affections with. Please welcome to the stage, Phillip Reiss, everybody! Yay!
And what a duel it was. It was. Sam, you might need what I just bought.
Oh yeah.
Some tablets to help with focus and concentration. The problem is I did buy them on TikTok, so they last about 35 seconds. So they're not ideal. Let's tell you a bit about me, less about the tablets I've been buying online. So my name is Philip, as I was introduced so kindly by Sam, which in Greek or Latin means lover of horses. In Arabic it means elephant. Shouldn't forget, should I, Mickey? Shouldn't forget. In English, it means family disappointment. That is a true story. I know that because my family tell me quite often. And there's quite a few reasons, but the main reason, because a few years ago I decided to move to Slough. I know. Just down the Elizabeth line, right? 4th worst place in the UK to live, officially. 4th worst place. But it's not all bad. Like Luton's number 1, so if you've been to the two of them, right? You know what I'm dealing with. It's famous for a few things though, Slough. Some good, some bad. Firstly, obviously, The Office. We've all seen The Office, right? Set in Slough. Another good point is a bit of a struggle. Like I said, those concentration tablets, they're not kicking in. The first zebra crossing ever in the UK, painted on the road in Slough. Wow. That is a true fact.
Oh yeah.
No one ever stops it. Traffic stops more in Bangkok than it does on Slough High Street, let me tell you. It really does. William Herschel, also famous if you know your astronomy, so this might be a very niche comment, but he is the guy that about 300 years ago discovered Uranus. No smiley laughs, this is an educated room, I like this. Nice. But I've worked out how he discovered that planet, because even in the 1700s, he was living in Slough, so he's going to recognise a shithole when he sees one.
This guy knows Slough.
Yeah, he knows Slough. You know, it hasn't got any better, even since then. But I do live in Slough, like I said, I'm not making it up for comedy effect, genuinely. I live there with my wife and our 2 cats. They sound a bit like an 80s pop band, Joey and the Cock Block. That's a little nickname for our female cat because that is exactly what she is. She will sit between my wife and I at every single opportunity. Now apparently that's my fault and not the cat's. Right? My wife's given me a couple of clues on this. See if you can spot whether this is down to me or not, or at least if she's taken out on me. We went on holiday, we went to Spain, and my wife woke up for a little afternoon siesta. She's got one of those giant bags of cheese and onion crisps. She devoured the entire bag and did not offer me one single crisp. I know, not reason for divorce, but maybe an argument, right? Close. But when she finished that bag, she looked at me dead in the eye and she went, "That was the best 15 minutes of my life." Not sure what I'm doing wrong. It's not even the worst thing she said to me. Sorry, I've got my timer, so I'm going to rely on you coming up to the stage. The worst thing she said to me happened just a couple of weeks ago. I was sat watching TV, me, Joey, Cock Block. We were on a great time. My wife was just in the kitchen. And we've got an Amazon Fire Stick, so when you pause it, pictures will come up on the TV and they're happy memories. Just as I paused it, my wife walked past and this picture came up from 2015. And my wife went, "I still look just as good as I did back then." Take note what I said next. I thought this was clever. I said, no. You look even better now than you did 10 years ago.
Good work.
I know. My wife did not seem to think so. This time, without even looking at me, she went, "You could do some Botox." I know. But you know the saying, happy wife, happy life, right? So the appointment's next Friday at 2:45. See how that goes. Next time you see me, I might look a bit surprised. got a list here. I know what I was going to tell you. When my wife's not busy, giving me nudges and kicks, subtly or otherwise, we'd like to go out with our friends. Last week we went out to a restricted beverage and evening pre-dinner event. Yeah. It's actually called a bottomless brunch. However, it wasn't a brunch and the drinks were not bottomless. I was not impressed. Don't do it, don't fall into the trap. Honestly. But we're at an age now where we don't actually like to go out too often. We'll try and stay at home, watch TV, go on holiday a few times, and, as it turns out, go shopping in garden centres. This is the life of a 45-year-old man in his midlife. He's got no choice because he's married life. We were in the queue in the garden centre. We just picked up some seeds. And my wife went, "We're going to live off the land, Phil." There was no pause. I was like, "Don't you mean we're going to live off the land? Phil." And she said, "If you like." So I'm not looking forward to going home for dinner, let's put it that way. I mentioned the holidays, didn't I? My wife and I go on a few holidays. We started, this is really midlife crisis stuff, we've started going on cruises. I know. They're not all bad, right? Last cruise we went to Asia, right? And we were looking forward to this holiday, right? Highlights should have been the pandas, yeah? Not bad, nice little experience in the zoo. Should have been the amazing food. Wasn't too bad. My highlight, the bottles of Coke. Because you could go and the lid comes all the way off and you punch yourself in the face. It was amazing. Go there just for that. Don't worry about anything else. Cruise before that, actually one more cruise story and then I'll move on because it sounds like I'm gloating and I'm really not. We got on board the cruise, right, day number 1. Just walking past reception, this woman was going, "Oh my God, I am furious." So we obviously stopped to take note of what's going on. I paid all this money, spent all of my pension on this once in a lifetime holiday. I paid for a sea view. So the receptionist, "Okay, what seems to be the problem? How can we help?" So she said, "Well, I got to my room, got to the balcony, and all I can see is a car park." So the receptionist just went, "Look, I tell you what, really sorry that's your experience. Give us half an hour after we set sail, and if you can still see that car park, we'll upgrade you to the room next door because we've had no complaints." She was very happy. She wasn't really sure why. One more holiday tale, actually. Amsterdam. Have any of you been? Yeah. It's a nice little place, right? Lots of culture, lots of different things you can do. Last time we went, we stumbled across the Condomeria. This is a real shop, just like my Slough comment. This is true, right? I don't lie in comedy, I should. Most people do, right? So, in this Condomeria, they sell nothing but condoms. Different shapes, different sizes, even different flavours. They've got a vegan condom. That can obviously never be 100% meat-free though, can it? You should know at the beginning of the level of my comedy, ladies and gentlemen, you should know. One other crisp caught my eye. Not literally. That'd be weird, wouldn't it? Cheese and onion crisp flavour condom. No. Well, I didn't taste it. But on the back of the packet, it said, "For the best 15 minutes of your life." So I bought a couple for the wife. She was not impressed. Sam, as I did forget to set my watch, sir, how long have I got?
You got 1 minute left, Scott.
Wonderful, that's about as long as the wife normally gets.
Hey.
Hey. Such a cheap joke. I'm going to tell you one little story about getting the train, because I mentioned the Elizabeth line. That is my escape out of Slough. Get on that train when it's working as quickly as you can. Last time I was on the train, someone left their backpack on the train. So I did my good deed for the day. I picked up that backpack, I took it to the ticket office, and they said, "What do you want us to do with that?" I was like, "Well, what do you want me to do with that?" So they said, "Well, you've got 2 options. You can either take that bag to the train, give it to the cleaner, and they'll deal with it, or you can go to the other side of Paddington, around the platform, over there, second office on the left, lost and found." So it turns out it's see it, say it, do it yourself. Which again is something my wife says to me quite a lot when I keep joking about her. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been a small audience but fabulous. I've been Phillip Reiss, thank you very much.
Lovely Philip there, a sensible gentleman in a nice jacket.